Shields up, Ironbreakers. Rurikan here coming at you with another video. Welcome back to Monster Hunter World, and the month of June is slowly but surely coming to an end. And you guys all know what that means because the Monster Hunter World team has resumed development in the free title updates. As such, we're going to be getting Alatreon in early July. Now, usually they do their updates in the evening from Thursday to Friday in my particular time zone, so that would mean that potentially two dates that we could be seeing for Alatreon would be either on the 3rd of July or the 10th of July, because any later than that, and it kind of becomes beyond the midpoint of July, so it's not really early July anymore. But anyway, in preparation for the upcoming Black Dragon, I figured that I would get back into the game, get my muscle memory up to snuff, and update a couple of my Gunlance builds, because we've had a couple of new armor pieces in terms of the Arch-Tempered Namiel, and that Tentacle Coil Gamma is pretty damn sweet if you are a Gunlance main. So anyway, let's take a look at them builds. There's going to be a defensive build and an offensive build. These can be used for both normal and wide shelling gun lances. I'll tell you a couple of parts that you might want to swap around depending on the availability of gun lances for yourself personally, because I know that not everybody's going to have Safi Jiva gear. Which means, you know, I am using Safi Jiva gear because I grinded the crap out of that dragon and I deserve to use it. But yeah, let's get this started. We're going to be starting off with the defensive. Now, this is going to be a build that you most likely will want to use for, you know, monsters that tend to roar a lot, because it is going to include earplugs, which is very much a comfy skill that I personally love. So let's take a look at the weapon. We got Safi's Shatter Burster here. Naturally, it's going to have shelling normal 2. I'm going to go with 2 sharpness increases, a slot upgrade 4, and Zora Magdaros' Essence. In terms of augmentation, you got 2 health regens and a defense increase, because like I said, this is going to be the more defensive build. So, you know, you can basically just make this gun lance, or instead of using this one, you can use the gun lance from Stygian Zinogre, which also has normal shelling level 7, and I believe even a little bit better sharpness, but to be honest, I haven't used it in so long, I don't even know the stats of that gun lance anymore. But here's what the build's gonna look like in terms of slots. You got your Shadow Burster with 2 Iron Wall Jewels plus 4. Yes, I've started using Guard 5 in pretty much all of my Gunlance builds now, because it's just so damn good. It actually allows you to stay on the offensive a lot more. I feel like previously I undervalued the importance of guard in a lot of my Gunlance builds, and I'm not going to be making that mistake again. You got your Shield Jewel here, as well as a Mind's Eye Jewel, because you can just put whatever the hell you want in this particular build, really. There's just so many slots for you to play around with, comfortable skills. Again, this is the comfy skill, okay? We even have a Footing Vitality Jewel in the Silver Sol Braces. But anyway, the armor pieces that we're going to be using here is 2-piece Zora Magdaros, because we're going to have Zora Magdaros' Essence in the gun lance to get our Secret Artillery that way. Then we're going to be getting 2 silver pieces in Silver Sol Greaves and Braces, which basically gives us Secret Slinger capacity, which for the people that keep asking me about Slinger capacity, it is because it significantly increases the uptime of your Wyvern Stake Blast in the monsters, and it makes it so that you don't have to apply it as frequently, and I'm not a big fan of applying that damn thing on monsters because it takes too damn long. Then, naturally, like I said, we got the Tentacle Coil Gamma, and we have a bunch of Destroyer Jewels on it, because you guys know I like Part Breaker. You got your Earplugs Charm, Glider Mantle with Phoenix Evasion, and an Evasion Jewel plus 4. Now, if you do not have a Safi Gun Lance with Zora's Essence, like I said, you can use Stygian Zinogre, and you want to replace your Silver Sol Greaves with the Greaves from Zora Beta Greaves, and basically just adapt your build to try and get as many of the skills that I have in here as possible. A couple of things that you can kind of do without is naturally Footing Vitality and Mind's Eye. You don't really need Mind's Eye for normal shelling. You can start your combo with a shell and then reload and then slam instead. In case you're like, oh, but I need to do the poke and then slam. Okay, you can just start that combo with shell. It's not as easy, but it is doable. And if you don't have Mind's Eye and you're fighting a monster that keeps bouncing, then just start your combo with shell into reload into slam. That should fix things up for you. Anyways, the skills: Earplugs, Artillery, Guard, Sling Capacity, Tremor Resistance, Health Boost, Spark Breaker, Evade Extender. 2 recovery speed, which come from the Tentacle Coil. We're not really going for these. They're not super important. Capacity boost, flinch free, Mind's Eye ballistics, guard up, protective polish, 3 evade window if you put on your glider mantle, which every now and then they do come in handy. little bit of coalescence for some added damage if you happen to be, you know, catch fire, stunned, whatever, when you have your glider mantle on. That will be very nice. And naturally, you got Slinger Armor Secret and Zora Magdros' Essence. Now, I understand a lot of people are going to be like, but Rurikon, you got the armor from Raging Brocky, which is much, much better. And it's like, well, I mean, depends on the type of build that you're making. If you're making a more defensive build, in my opinion, this is much better, but, you know, to each his own. Just remember, if you're using a different Gunlance, you got to bring in the Zora Magdros Greaves. And also, if you are using this on a wide shelling build, you're going to have to bring the Zora's Greaves as well, which means you're only going to have level 3 secret capacity. But trust me, even level 3 secret capacity is very much worth it over a lot of other skills that you could potentially get. So this is the more defensive build that is going to work both on normal shelling as well as on wide shelling. Let's take a look at something a little bit more offensive, shall we? Okay, so in this case, we are going to be using Safi's Shatter Burster with shelling normal 2 and 2 sharpness increases and 2 attack increases. So in this particular case, having Safi's Shatter Burster is not the end all be all because we're not using any essence. So basically you can just straight up replace it with Stygian Zenogre's Gunlance, and you should even have additional slots that we don't have in this build. So this is a lot easier to do than the other one. In terms of augmentations, we're going to be going for affinity increase, health regen, and element status effect up because our goal with this one is to actually dish out as much damage as possible. Now let's take a look at the decoration side of things. And on Safi's Shatterburst, we're going to be putting an artillery jewel +4, and you guys are going to be questioning my armor choice. You guys are going to be like, what are you doing, Rurikon? You can get agitator and artillery on that belt from Brocky. You are correct, but in my opinion, this way it is a little bit more valuable and you get a little bit more room for extra skills that you may or may not want depending on everyone's personal preference. Because I know that not everybody cares as much about capacity boost as I do, but it is so not capacity boost, sorry, slinger capacity as I do. But it is just so friggin' good that I love it and I wanted to include it, and that's why I ended up going with this particular build. So you got Brocky's Helm, Mail, Bracers, and Greaves in order to put the Tentacle Coil in there, which is going to give us a couple of more slots. And we're going to compensate for the fact that we're going to be missing out on the Agitator on the Glider Mantle, so you can still max out Agitator that way. You have an Ironside Charm 5 because, like I said, I am loving that Guard Up 5 because it's just way more valuable, like I said, than I gave it credit for when I was playing earlier. And this is just a very offensive build. And once again, you can just basically put the Lightbreaker Gunlance on here and boom, you got a wide 7 shelling build and it'll work just fine. And like I said, you should even have an additional slot, and in that additional slot, the skill that you definitely want to put in there is Mind's Eye, because, you know, when you're doing the poke shell poke playstyle, the last thing that you want is to have your pokes bounce back, because that really sucks. Anyway, let's take a look at the final build, and you got Critical Eye level 7, Artillery level 5, Guard level 5, Agitator level 4, or level 7 if you put the Glider Mantle in there. Critical Boost level 3, Weakness Exploit level 3, Evade Extender level 3, because Gunlance builds without Evade Extender, as far as I'm concerned, aren't even Gunlance builds because you can barely move. Slinger Capacity level 3, Health Boost level 2 or 3 once the Glider Mantle goes up, and this does heal you in case you guys are curious. Like when you do get that additional little bit of health, it comes as filled up health, not necessarily like empty health. You got your Capacity Boost flinch free. Guard up, Tool Specialist level 2 when your Temporal Mantle is up, and you also get Agitator Secret and Artillery Secret. This is a very fun build. I've been playing around with it quite a bit, and it's been very enjoyable. And like I said, you can use this both in normal or wide shelling, which is pretty much the 4 different builds that I've been running with whenever I want to do more offensive or whatnot. But mostly, if I'm going to be completely honest, I've been focusing a lot more on normal shelling than necessarily wide, which is why the wide gameplay you'll see on the background is probably going to look extremely rusty, because it is. Now, let's take a look at the long shelling level 6, shall we? Okay, so when it comes to long shelling, there really isn't much of a point in going for offensive skills, because as you guys all know, we're just basically going to be shooting out charged shells. So we got Safi's Shatterburster in here with Zora Magdaros' Essence. Now, you can use any other gunlance that you want. 2 gunlances that I would recommend would either be, actually even 3, isn't there like another long shelling 6? I think the one from Zenorjiva, the new one that you can craft with materials from Safi or whatever. I never even crafted it. I need to get around to crafting that one and testing it, but I believe that one's also long shelling 6. Don't ask me about the stats, I don't remember it as I'm recording this video. But the other 2 gunlances that I would recommend would be either the Valhazak Spiza, whatever it's called, the Valhazak gunlance, because it's got decent sockets and it's long shelling level 6. Or, which one's the other one? I forget. Oh, Silver Rathalos. Silver Rathalos is also very, very good. Now, in terms of the Safi's Shatterburster, if you happen to get one, the awakened abilities I would recommend would be Sharpness Increase 5s, 2 of them, then Slot Upgrade 4, Shelling Level 2, and naturally Zora Magdaros' Essence. In terms of augmentations, you got your Defense Increase and your Health Regen twice, because why not? Just get a health regen at the yin yang. Why wouldn't you? Now let's take a look at the slots situation in here. And on the Safi Shatterburst, we got Iron Wall plus 4 and Destroy Vitality. And then in terms of armor pieces, we got 2 Zora pieces, the head and the chest, because they got the best kind of like skills for their budget in terms of getting artillery secret. Then we also got Silver Saw Braces and Silver Saw Greaves, like I said, because I love slinger capacity, which again, not everybody likes. That's fine. If you don't like it, then come up with your own damn builds. Then you got Tentacle Coil Gamma, because I freaking love that armor piece. It's really, really good with your 3 evade extender and all that jazz. Now, if you do not have a Safi Shatterburster, like I said, you can use any of the other gun lances, but you are going to be sacrificing the Silver Saw Greaves and a little bit of capacity boost, and you'll have to use Zora's Greaves to complete the set. We're also using Earplug's Charm here so that you never get interrupted. You can just like spam shell non-stop, have a blast with it. Your Glider Mantle also comes with footing, so you're going to be completely tremor immune whenever you have your Glider Mantle up, and you're going to have a little bit of evasion in there as well, because why not? Looking at the final build, you got Earplugs level 5, Artillery level 5, Guard level 5, Slinger Capacity level 5, Health Boost, Focus, Part Breaker, Evade Extender, Tremor Resistance, all the way when you got Glider Mantle up. 2 recovery speed, like I said, comes from the Tentacle Coil. We don't really need that. Capacity Boost, Flinch Free, Guard up, and 3 Evade window when Glider Mantle is up, and 2 Tool Specialist whenever Temporal Mantle is up, with Artillery Secret and Slinger Armor Secret. These are essentially my current Gunlance builds, but like I said, once I fight Alatreon, things might change. I might, come up with different builds that I want to use, because all of these things are in a state of constant flux. I have to basically decide, okay, am I going to use the same stuff in here? Am I going to change stuff around? So honestly, I don't know what's going to happen when Alatreon hits. Hell, I might just use a completely different weapon altogether, because maybe the Gunlance isn't even that great against them, but I'm definitely going to try, and I'll let you guys know which one is the best of the builds to use against him, in my opinion, and hopefully Alatreon will bring long shelling level 7 into the fold, because I can't wait to just destroy every single monster in the game with long shelling level 7, because it's going to be that powerful. Anyway, if you guys enjoyed this video, hit the like button. If you did not enjoy this video, hit the dislike button. Feedback is always important. Feedback, which you can also leave in the comment section down below. If you usually enjoy my content, subscribe, bell notification icon, all of that jazz. I'll keep you guys up to date whenever we get any news of what's coming down the pipe in regards to Monster Hunter. And also, let me know down in the comments if you guys want me to tell you the current build that I'm running on Generations Ultimate, because I've been min-maxing Palicos, and that was a pretty deep rabbit hole that I've gotten myself into. But I'm actually blasting through G rank at pretty decent speeds with the Gunlance now. But yeah, that's gonna be it. I'll see you guys on the next one. Remember, stay strong, stay safe, and peace out.